All right, I'm going to hand over the show notes to the real boss. And I'm going to let you go on from here. So what is first up? I think it's the interview.
It is the interview, which I cannot wait. I'm so excited.
Okay, well,
I love watching the interviews. I love it. I have so much fun.
She loves watching people be super nervous.
Because I'm always that way every day. Okay.
Yes, we have the FCC. We have Hudson, our FCC compliance officer, behind the screen.
He's impatiently
Very
waiting
impatient.
for
That
his
cool,
sister.
Drink. Yeah, absolutely. That would be a really good summer drink when it gets hotter.
Yes.
By the way,
Which it gets hot here in Georgia.
all right, Kalpana, I'm gonna thumbs up. You ready? She's ready. Do you want to say something so I can make sure I can hear you? Okay.
Happy
Can you hear her?
Valentine's Day. Yes, I can hear.
Okay. All right. You ready? Last chance. All right. All right. Here we go.
We're bubbles now.
Bring it on. Oh, hang on. Let me
We're in
kill.
bubbles.
Let me kill this so there's not like a double thing. See, we're doing something new. And hang on. How do I hide myself? Hide myself. There we go. We're doing something new, and I didn't test that one little thing. All right. So tonight we have the pleasure of talking with Kalpana, I hope I'm saying that correct, a true whiskey connoisseur. This is from her About page, who dives deep into the rich lore and fascinating stories behind the world's finest whiskeys. Her passion for uncovering the secrets of whiskey, one dram at a time, has made her a beloved figure among enthusiasts. She's here to share her insights, educate us, and perhaps inspire us with some new collaborations over a glass of whiskey. I'm really excited, so grab your favorite bottle, sit back, and let's raise a glass together. I got my glass here.
I got my
Do you have
glass.
it
What are we opening this evening, Matt?
Well, I already poured mine, and we can cheers the bottle if you want.
There you go.
We're drinking
I poured mine
Blanton's
as well.
Gold
I'm
here.
ready.
All right, so cheers to you.
Cheers.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for hopping on here. I will drink. I have not had Blanton's Gold in a really long time. I don't think you've ever had it.
I don't think I've ever had it before.
All right, here we go.
I'm excited.
Yeah, that's pretty good. That's a tater bottle, like Mr. Vogel saying. I love the long stem. Oh, that's way more oaky than I remember that being. Whew.
Absolutely.
Okay, so
Haven't
thank
you
you.
had Blanton before?
I have, yes, but I don't remember being that oaky. I'm used to like the normal
Yeah.
single barrel, and it's not
It's
nearly as oaky
definitely
as that.
oaky.
Yeah.
So thank you.
I was gifted with this Blanton Gold for Christmas by one of my very good friend, and I had promised that I'm going to open this bottle only on a special occasion, and what better than tonight?
Oh no,
Aw.
you picked us? Oh, great. No pressure. No
Cheers to
pressure.
you guys. Cheers.
No, well, cheers to you too. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right, so tell us a bit about yourself and how you got into sharing your insights on whiskey.
As you know that I'm quite a passionate foodie and a whiskey connoisseur. For me, my journey with whiskey started with curiosity, which grew into passion, and now it has evolved into a mission.
I love that. A mission.
Ooh.
A woman on a mission about whiskey. Okay, that's a
That's
that's a mission
awesome.
we can all support, I think.
Yes.
All right, so one of the things that I absolutely love about you that you have in your bio, and this is I love this when I was looking at your channel, is you say, and I quote, "Let's raise a glass and collaborate." We are huge on collaboration.
Yeah.
It's something that's been part of our mission statement since the beginning of this channel, since we started this thing. So I absolutely love that. How do you think this open invitation that you give to collaborate benefits the whiskey community, especially in terms of sharing knowledge and learning from one another?
Absolutely. So, by keeping an open invite to collaborate, I feel that it fosters a deep sense of community within the whiskey world. By sharing knowledge, technique, anything that is maybe a new maturation style or emerging trends. And I feel collaboration benefits both the enthusiasts as well the professionals by refining their understanding for whiskey. But I ultimately feel that by doing this, by learning with one another, I feel we elevate the appreciation and the craftsmanship of whiskey by ensuring that its legacy continues to thrive for a lot of generations to come ahead.
Oh, I love that. I love that. See,
that's-
that puts a lot of now. Now I've got to like continue that in my generations
pressure.
of kids. Yeah.
But But don't
I
you
like
think so,
that.
Mac? Like, by collaborating, I mean, like today you have so many millions or so many thousands of people following you. How do those people know that what's happening in the whiskey world? I think we should be the flag bearer and, spread good things about whiskey because
Yeah.
after all, whiskey people are all good people. Don't you think so?
Oh
Yes.
yeah, and like I'm a novice, and like I'm still learning stuff. But I meet people who have been in it a long time, and they're still learning some stuff. So it's like we're just all growing together, even though we're on different like kind of levels. We're still together. There's no like anything. It's just I love that.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Okay, so I have a clip to play. You won't be able to hear it, but the audience will. This is the clip. Actually, hang on. I might be able to make it so you can hear it. Let me see. Yep, I
Sure.
can make it. I can make it so you can hear it, but you won't be able to see it. So I'm going to play this clip, and then we're going to come right back and ask a question about it. Okay? You ready? Okay, here we go.
Maybe I'm a gangster too.
Okay, all
I
right.
love that video.
I totally forgot that I was talking and had changed the thing so you couldn't hear me talking. So, anyways, okay, so I know the clip's kind of short, but in that video, you make a comment that the whiskey community, you were concerned they wouldn't take you seriously, and then you have the most amount of
Credentials.
certifications and credentials I've ever seen. I didn't even know some of these existed. You've got single malt certifications, you've got some Canadian stuff, you've got ambassador stuff. Tell us about your journey, how you got there, how you went down this path that blows my mind. I'm so curious to hear about this.
A thorough whiskey nerd, huh? Thank you so much. Firstly, so as I told earlier, that my journey in whiskey started with curiosity and grew into passion, and then now it has evolved into a mission. Now, the place where I come from, if you talk about like a 2 decades back, alcohol or overall spirit was not really looked upon with a lot of respect. And for a woman or a lady to get into this industry was quite a taboo. So now my ultimate goal in the whiskey space is to bridge the gap between knowledge and appreciation, whether it's through educating or through storytelling or through conducting whiskey tastings. I want to inspire people to explore whiskey beyond the glass, and understand the craftsmanship and the complexity and the heritage of whiskey, and just not treat whiskey as whiskey. And also, I want to inspire more women to come ahead and explore this beautiful world.
I love that. That's beautiful. So,
Yeah,
you,
because watching the video for me, it was like, oh my word. Like, I had no idea. Like, to me, I felt like everybody kind of like stopped at what I was learning. And I realized there's a whole, you just like seeing your video open that doors of like, wow, look what
Yeah.
can be done.
So I was
yeah,
the
and,
only Indian woman in the entire whiskey university, like, to get this whole course done when I did this whole program, which is Master of Whiskey Taster program.
That's
so you
awesome.
shared something with me when we were talking on our technical test about India. Do you mind if I get into that a little bit?
I'm sure that's okay.
So you shared with me, and I didn't know this, and excuse my ignorance. I'm not very cultured, so I didn't know this at all. But what you told me was that it's not. I don't know if you said it's not common or it's frowned upon for women to drink whiskey in India. Is that how you phrased it?
Uh, uh, yeah, like, of course, it's not anymore now. The millennials, the Gen Z is really changing and they become very advanced. A lot of people are taking up this as a career now. But back then, as I said, that when I wanted to get into this industry, it was surely not looked upon as a very great thing. And as I told you that I was not taken seriously, I meant that nobody thought like, like, what is that you would want to do? I mean, what can you do? Like how, like, to get into whiskey and set this as a career, because I was working in corporates, and then I took a sabbatical, and I followed my passion, which was food. And through that, my curiosity towards whiskey really kind of, grew more. And like I don't feel sorry to say that my mother was very, very upset when she realized that I am doing this. And she was like, what are you doing this? I am not very happy with your decision. You need to think about this. And I said my mother that if you like me, then you need to like what I like. So please accept it.
Yeah.
I like that. So I don't know if you can tell, but I have a passion for food as well. I'm right there with you. So
And alcohol kind of falls in that because when you're enjoying food, you usually want to match it with something that drinks well with it. Like that doesn't kind of compete with it, but it's like music. It kind of flows with each other.
Oh,
yeah.
yes. Oh, yes. Forget about matching. I mean, I go one step ahead and I infuse my whiskey to my food, like, to my chicken or to my cakes. I do flambe with whiskey. I mean, you tell me about it.
Oh my word, that's awesome.
I love that. So, if you don't mind me asking, just one more off the cuff question. What was that catalyst that got you like what clicked
Kind
in
of
your life or
that kind of pushed you
yeah,
over
that
that
got you into the
point.
whiskey where you're like, you know what, I'm gonna try
I'm gonna
this
do
and I'm gonna
this.
embrace it. What was the defining moment for that?
So I, as a eldest daughter in the family, and I grew up in a family where we have not even seen alcohol. Like my father would never even touch alcohol. I was a complete teetotaler. Got married in a family where my husband isn't very ardent alcohol lover. He likes his drinks, one or two, so one day he just poured me a drink and he said, why don't you try? I'm like, are you sure? Because because for me it was like something wrong that I'm not supposed to
Yeah.
do. And I'm asking, are you sure, like you're offering me drink? Like, yeah, go ahead, what's wrong? I'm like, okay. What am I doing? Like, am I like this lucky? I felt like really I'm so lucky to have this husband who offers me to drink.
Yeah.
So yeah, I had my first drink, I still remember, was a Johnny Walker Red Label. And I had one, and then I had two, and then it became like a thing where I started loving. And to be very honest, I started with whiskey and I'm still with whiskey. I've never deviated from that. I never tried that. Oh, I should try now that I've become a pro at drinking and I kind of like alcohol. I should try vodka or I should try rum. I never did that. Whiskey was just so intimidating and so enticing to me. I just felt, look, I need not only drinking, I need to know where does this liquid gold comes from. I mean, what
Yeah.
goes behind the entire science? And by the time it comes to the market, there's so much to it. And trust me, Matt, the journey is still on. There's so much to learn. There's so much to know about it. Like every day, you can find so many things about it.
I can hear the passion in your
Yeah.
voice when you talk about this. This is incredible.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So you hinted that the way whiskey is consumed can affect its taste. What's the most unconventional way you've enjoyed whiskey that's enhanced its flavor profile? And we have Vogel sayings in the chat. We've got a video clip coming up in a minute. But what's the most unconventional way you've consumed whiskey? I know you mentioned chicken a minute ago. Is it some kind of weird infusion? Is it like with butter? Like, what's the weirdest way or that you've experienced it?
So wait for me while I tell you. Uh, uh, Bottom of my heart, I like my whiskey neat, but on and off, I do like it, like, tweak it a bit or try a little different style. The most unconventional way that I had a whiskey was a really smoky, peaty Isla Scotch, sipping
Okay.
straight from a frozen coconut shell. You
Okay.
know,
I didn't know that was.
yeah,
So cool.
like the oils from the natural coconut shell
Hmm.
and like the sweetness, like a vanilla flavor. It
Yeah.
was like the whole experience was like such a velvety mouth feel and so refreshing that I still have the memory of it. And I mean, that's the most unconventional way of having a whiskey, and it was so beautiful.
That's
Okay. We have
awesome.
to try that. That sounds amazing.
I'm
But
willing to try anything.
yeah, but if you allow me, for all the bourbon lovers out there, I would like to share something that they should try actually. Is it okay?
Of
Yeah.
course.
Yes.
So if you're having like a real strong cask strength bourbon, try it with a piece of bacon that's dipped in real dark chocolate.
Oh, I'm
You had
sorry.
me at bacon.
Yeah, I'm sorry I'm marrying her at this point. That's amazing. Bacon, chocolate dipped
Dipped
bacon.
bacon.
I'm in. I mean, that sounds amazing. That sounds amazing.
That
Do
sounds
give it
really
a try. Do give it a try. And I'm sure for all the bourbon lovers, that's like a new way of trying your whiskey. But it should be like a cask strength whiskey, like with a really higher ABV.
All right. I will. Well, you know what? I will promise
I'm
you
game for this.
that's coming up
Ah,
soon.
It may end up being a short.
I mean, the layers of toffee and spices and the umaminess. I mean,
I'm hungry.
that's going to remain with you forever. That flavor.
I love this.
I'm already like over here going, I need to go
We
eat
have to
now.
somehow mix all these together, like out of a coconut shell and all this stuff.
Yes.
So for the people who claim that all whiskeys taste the same, smell the same, what is your go-to response, or better yet, whiskey recommendation to prove that statement wrong?
Oh, now I love that. Now, for someone who thinks all whiskey tastes the same, it's like saying all music sounds the same. I mean, you have really not explored yet.
Yes.
Yeah.
So we all
Okay.
know, Matt, like there's so much of whiskey, like right from the smoky peaty Isla or the sweet sherried Highland whiskey, your bourbons, which are like so sweet, spicy, or if you really want to crank up your whiskey game, just try a nice Canadian rye whiskey, which is so spicy. Or if you want to like really have a smooth evening, wash off your palate, like try the Japanese whiskey. They're so subtle, so beautiful, coming from a pure spring water. I mean, sky is the limit. And who says all whiskey tastes the same? I think I should meet them.
Oh my word. That is
I
awesome.
love that. All right, so you mentioned one of your videos to use ice, which we're going to get to in a minute, or a splash of water. This is like something that's well known in the whiskey community. What's the science behind it? Maybe you can educate our listeners. What's the science behind that? Do you know?
Yeah. So, adding water to whiskey, uh,
Sorry, hang on. By the way, the reason I'm asking her these is because of her millions of degrees. I want to hear the educated answer. All right, go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
no. So adding water to whiskey, it surely alters the flavor. Now, flavor profile basically due to the combination of chemicals and the sensory effects. Now, the basic science behind it is adding water reduces the alcohol burn. For somebody who's trying whiskey for the first time and they're going to take a sip and end up like really a burning sensation, they're never going to try it again.
Yeah.
So, with adding water releases a lot of aromatic compounds, it settles down, but also there is a way to add water. So if you want to add water to your whiskey, add few drops at a time. Like swirl your glass, nose it first, and then take a sip. And keep adding water until till the time that you get the sweet spot where the whiskey is beautifully diluted with water, and not by adding so much of water where it is completely drowned and completely lost its original flavor.
Yeah.
Beautifully. I love that. Okay, that's great. All right. Oh, okay. Hang on. Hang on a second. I'm making a note to remind myself of something at the very end here. Okay, so a wonderful friend of ours and of Whiskey Tube, Mr. Dave Vogelsang, loves his spirits with ice. He has spent the last part of his life trying to convince everybody to switch over to ice. I thought this clip was perfect for Mr. Vogelsang, so let me play this clip real quick, and I'll switch it so you can hear it. You won't be able to see it. All right, here we go.
I think I'll take my whiskey neat.
Whiskey has to be had neat. Says who? Another outdated myth. The fun thing about this delicious nectar is that there are no set rules. Whether you like your whiskey neat, with ice, with splash of water, or even in a cocktail is absolutely your call. Whatever helps you enjoy your whiskey the most is the right way of drinking it. Cheers.
You're too sweet.
I absolutely love that. You said what an outdated myth. So my question is, what would you say to the diehard neat drinkers who say ice is a non-starter for them?
I would say that think of ice not as a spoiler, but as a tool. a tool that enhances the whiskey's flavor, just like the way water does. But again, coming back to the fact that it all depends at what kind of ice are you, like, adding. You're not like really filling your glass and then pouring just like an half an ounce of whiskey to it. So always take like one big chunky cube of ice that melts slow by just diluting the flavor and creating a coldness on your palate, and that's how you enjoy whiskey with ice. And now, does that mean that you should switch? Absolutely not. Because if you ask me, would I give up drinking neat? Never. Would I add ice or water? Surely yes, sometimes. I mean, it's all about balance, don't you think so? So there's always a balance needed, like to try. And otherwise, how do you enjoy your whiskey?
So Dave Vogel saying, he says, I think I'm in love and I just subscribed to her. And I love that you said, think of it as a tool. I've never heard it described that way.
I
But
had never either. Like, that's just, oh my word. My mind for bourbon is just like exploding.
I like that. Can you grab the sack out of that freezer? I want to show you something while she's grabbing that. You have this amazing picture of you on Instagram holding all your arts degrees and your diplomas. You have one in single malt whiskey. So tell us about these two awards and the challenges of getting a diploma in single malt whiskey, which I didn't even know existed. All right, so I guess this is my toolbox right here. I got a bag of craft ice.
I wish I could see you, Matt.
Oh, right. You can't see it through the way you're seeing it. Well, the audience could. I'll show it to you.
There's ice in a bag.
Okay.
Yes. So talk to us about your diplomas and like
It's
the
loud.
challenges of getting them. I'm so curious about all of this.
So when I started with whiskey, there was a lot of self-learning procedures. Like, I would go through Google, pick up books from Amazon, but it wasn't helping much because, self-learning can only take you to one level. Like, if you
Yeah.
have to really up your game, you need the professional nudge or the professional help. So when I came to Canada, I came to Canada very recently, like it's just a couple of years back. And that's the time when I discovered there is this specialized course where people teach you. And I did my Master of Arts degree from Whiskey University in Kentucky. They have been like really very instrumental by, I learned like being in India, we don't even have like more than 10% of bourbon. Like the bourbons that we know in India is like Jack Daniels or maybe Tennessee. That's it. The whole world of whiskey opened up for me when I enrolled for this course. And the techniques, the charcoal, the level of smoking the whiskey, and why is a bourbon called a bourbon? Like how many of us like knew before, like, why is it called bourbon? Is
Actually,
all
don't
whiskey
know.
bourbon? Like,
Yeah.
see, every whiskey is bourbon, but not all bourbon is a whiskey,
Yeah.
basically, like,
Yeah, 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 yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, 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 yeah.
so those nuances I got to know from this university. And I am a diehard Scotch fan. So I didn't want to stop there, and I wanted to know more. I was like hungry to learn more. So that's when I realized, okay, there is this academy in Edinburgh who gives you like a very deep insight about Scotch, the history of Scotch, the way it is made, the barley, the technique of peating, how it all started, like, the moonshine technique and where did it start from. But the most challenging part for me in this entire course was the whiskey tasting part,
Yeah.
where we are given a kit and we have to taste and write. There are from so many samples which comes from different distillery, different style. Oh, that was quite challenging. But of course, it takes years for you to come to that level. Only drinking whiskey every evening takes you to that level and opens your sensory nodes, opens your, olfactory, like your throat and your taste notes and everything. So yeah, that was challenging. But other than I am incredibly thankful for the whole journey, for everyone, Colonel Craig and Professor from Edinburgh Academy, to kind of support me and guide me and always being there for me.
That's great.
awesome.
So Dave Vogel says he just subbed to your channel. Life from the Patio just subbed. Jen Clifton just subbed. CJP Bourbons, Cheers Whiskey Wisdom just subbed to her YouTube and followed her on IG. That's great. Thank you guys so much. Her channel, by the way, is pinned to the top of the chat. If you guys want to check out her channel and subscribe to it, please check it out. Can you see us now, by the way?
I do, and you guys
Okay.
look incredible.
Okay, I cannot believe for half this interview you were talking to a black screen and you were so professional you didn't even mention it. I'm so sorry. I didn't realize that the camera was off for you, but it's fixed now. So she's like,
I hope you guys could see me all through.
Yeah.
huh?
Yes,
we can see you.
we can see you,
Yes.
and the audience can see you. Just somehow you couldn't see. Well, I know why, but it's fixed. Okay, who does your video editing?
Well, I take professional help because I don't understand these gadgets and gizmos and the whole hocus pocus behind it. So on and off, I take a lot of professional help. But it's been quite some time that I have not posted anything. But I think now you guys have motivated me to do more work on this.
That's awesome. CA Scotty, Gandy Road, and Bourbon Nerd, Life from the Patio all just said they just subscribed to you as
What
well.
does this
That's
mean?
awesome.
Just subbed.
They just subscribed to you, to your channel.
Oh, lovely, lovely.
to either-
Thank
to
you
either
so
Insta-
much.
Yeah, absolutely. That's awesome.
Yes.
So okay, if you could magically, and we touched on this a little bit. I got 3 more questions, and then I got 1 more question that's off the cuff here. If you could magically infuse whiskey with the flavor of any candy, these are the crazy
It's
questions.
Valentine's Day.
Right? What would it be, and what would you call it?
Can
No
you please
pressure.
repeat the question?
If you could infuse food, or excuse me, if you could infuse whiskey with any flavor of candy, so like a Snickers bar, Werther's Original, whatever, what candy would you infuse whiskey with, and maybe if you like, what would you name it? Like lollipop whiskey, Kalpana's sweet, I don't know, chocolate whiskey, I don't know. It's a
Well,
goofy
I'm not-
question.
I'm not a very chocolate fan, but I belong to the land of spices. So for me, if I have to create a candy, whiskey infused candy, then it would surely have an amalgamation of sourness, which would be from some cherries, and sweetness from mango, and spiciness from pepper and star anise. I mean, of course, like a lot of spice and sweet and sour kind of a flavor in your mouth. And what do we call taste of India?
Yeah.
I love it. I love that.
Sounds delicious.
What
We
do you
got more
think?
people. I love it. I
That's
love
a great
it.
idea.
Or
We got more-
you can also say candies by Kalpana.
Yes.
I like it. We got more people saying they sub to you. Dave, Dave says, keep up the ice content. I love that. Some people here are saying Blue Raz Push Pop. That's a good one. Jolly Ranchers Swedish Fish.
Oh, lovely.
That could be good.
That's an
all
amazing
great.
idea.
Yeah. Spice and pepper. Yeah. I like that too.
Yeah. And the spice also with chocolate. If the bourbon has like a chocolate kind of a taste
Like
to
a
it.
cayenne pepper?
Yeah.
Oh, you're talking about what, spice? Or you're just
No,
talking about bourbon with chocolate.
Bourbon
Yeah,
with
yeah.
chocolate
Yeah.
and the spices, I think would be delicious.
All right, what is the, like, through all your classes, all your tenure in whiskey, what's the silliest myth you've heard? Something like puts hair on your chest, tastes like cough syrup, smells like Sharpies. That's a big one that I hear. Are you
Well,
tapping my leg because I'm doing something
No,
wrong?
I'm trying to get
Oh,
their
okay.
attention.
All right.
I'm
She keeps
bumping-
tapping my leg like I'm doing something
No,
wrong. I
I'm
don't know what's
trying to get-
happening here.
I
I know
have-
it's Valentine's Day, but I mean,
No,
geez.
I'm trying. I got something going on here. I'm trying to get them to stop, and it's just.
Or cure a cold? What's the
Hold
silliest
on,
myth I've
guys, for
heard?
some more time.
Yeah, exactly. I know. I don't know what's happening over here. What's the silliest myth you've heard?
Okay, all those cough syrup myths and everything is done and dusted. The silliest myth I've heard is that whiskey is a man's drink.
Yeah.
Ooh, I like that. What a good answer.
Yeah, I have to agree with that. I've heard that a lot, especially growing
Have you
up.
heard
Like,
as well? Oh,
yeah.
What'd you say?
high five to that. I said, have you also heard that? as well.
I've heard that back, like even in like early on, like from 21 and up, like everyone I knew was like most of the girls I knew they drank like the girly
Vodka.
drinks and
Absolutely.
and
Maybe a
anything
vodka
else is
or
like that's what their
margarita. Yeah.
boyfriend or husband drank. It was like that's what the men drank. It was like because back in like a long time ago when the cigar rooms would be having their cigar with a glass of bourbon. So that was just that's what the men did. So I
So
think
when
that's
I used to
probably
drink whiskey, people would like point out and say, "Hey, she's drinking whiskey." I'm like, "Okay, really?"
yeah.
So I've grown up with that myth.
I like that. I like that. Is there anything that we haven't talked about that you'd like to talk about?
I mean, like, just ask me. I can talk about
Okay.
I
anything,
guess
on
ask
and
your
on.
question off the cuff.
Okay. Well, I didn't know if there was anything that we hadn't mentioned that you wanted to mention. All right. So, this is an off the cuff question. I'm curious. So in America and I don't know, maybe UK, it's like common to say cheers when you're cheersing somebody
Salute.
to drink.
Salute.
Salute, whatever. What's the India equivalent of that? Can you teach us that if there is one?
So in India also they say cheers.
Oh,
Okay.
all right.
Well, you gotta remember the British were there for a while
There
too.
is there is nothing special word like cheers. In India, it's like India is also now a biggest producers for whiskey, if you guys know that.
Wow.
So if it's like a really high end happiness, somebody celebrating, then they celebrate with Scotch. If they are like in a real chill mood in a pub or something, then they might have like a Jack Daniel, JD Fire or something like that. Those kind of cocktails. So whatever you have, they all say cheers.
Have you had any of the people are in the chat are asking about Amrut, if I'm saying that right? AMRUT.
Amrut,
Have you?
it's Amrut. It's the first Indian whiskey to be awarded as the world's best whiskey. But there is a lot of other whiskeys which
Wah,
is
wah,
now
wah.
becoming the world's number one. The very recent was Indri, which was awarded last year the world's number one whiskey by the Global Whiskey Awards in which happened in UK.
Okay.
How do I apply to be like the global whiskey award person, and then everybody just sends me whiskey to taste, and I'm like, I'm getting to it. Just keep sending me stuff.
I'll do it.
Please take me in that team.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Please.
All right, I don't know what CA Scotty's saying here. Is he trying to troll me into saying something dumb again? Achu, C hat,
that's not a chew.
Keely, or just
अच्छी सेहत के लिए अच्छी सेहत के लिए or just लांचे. Okay, so अच्छी सेहत के लिए in Hindi is for good health.
Okay,
Okay.
I'm sorry.
And-
CA Scotty lives up to his 007 name. He just knows every language. He's
And
always
slanche is anyways in Scotch. So in Scotland we say slanche.
all right, we got a question here. Is Hudson okay? He just landed on his head.
He's fine.
Okay. We got a question from CJP Bourbon. Does she enjoy bourbon and rye more than Scotch now?
It's just like picking your favorite babies. All my babies. I love all of them.
Okay,
I-
fair enough.
I can't discriminate between my children.
Oh, yes. We
I
have
like
many children.
Yeah, how does everybody know all this stuff? Oh, that's the same thing that Scotty said. Okay, cool. Yeah, so my wife surprised me the other day. I didn't know this, but she told me when she starts getting sick, she comes down here and tries to find the highest proof thing she can find, and she just she downs it
Because you get
as
that
a shot.
because you start getting a little tingle in your throat, like you know you're coming down with something. And for me, everything when I get sick doesn't go up here; it goes here and down in my chest. So my thinking is, let's just burn it all away.
But do you also know whiskey has got a lot of medicinal properties in them?
I kind of knew because back when I
Yeah.
was in school, I had a classmate of mine who told me that every time they were sick, their grandpa would give them a shot of whiskey. And I was like, yeah, it helps. It's medicinal sometimes if you do it just at the right time. I was like, really?
We have a cocktail called the hot toddy. in which you generally use the Tennessee whiskey. You add like ginger, cinnamon, and some bit of a dash of honey, and have it with like really piping hot water. It
Yep.
really calms your sore throat and the cough, and gives you like a good sleep.
Yeah.
And next morning you get up fresh. So whiskey is the answer for everything.
Man, I think I'm going to be sick and tired more often then.
Have a
Yeah.
hottie toddy.
Yeah. Laura was saying just
I
what
will
you
share
said.
the hot toddy recipe, Matt.
I love it. Yeah, Laura was
Yes.
saying just what you said. Add the honey, and it's even better.
Yep.
Anthony wants to know if you've ever done any barrel picks. If you've had an opportunity to do any barrel
I
picks.
I'm not being that privileged yet, but I know in Maker's Mark there is a barrel which has been aging in my name. So
Ooh.
hopefully once that ages, then I get to do that.
That's
But yeah,
Okay.
awesome.
keeping my fingers crossed, I would love to do that one day.
Yeah, we hope you get it. That's awesome.
Yeah, that's incredible.
We'll be watching that. Write that down.
The only use for Dickel 15. Oh, Sincere says the only use for Dickel 15 is a hot toddy. I guess he doesn't like Dickel 15 very much. I
Oh,
actually
so
don't
he
mind
knows
Dickel
about
15, but I have a
hot
trash
toddy.
palate. So. Yeah. Well, if you weren't in Canada, I could help you out with that, but I don't know how to get spirits to Canada. I have no idea. We'll have to figure
Oh
that out.
goodness,
Work
that
this
would be.
out, Matt. You can.
Yeah, we may just have to take a trip to Montana and walk across the border or something. I
Oh,
don't
I
know.
can drive
Nobody
to
will
Montana.
mind.
Done. All right.
I
If you
can drive
find
to Montana.
Go
Talk
to
about
Banff.
talk about crossing borders for whiskey.
Yes.
Yeah.
But I prefer Banff. Let's just go through Montana to Banff and we'll all be happy.
That's awesome.
Absolutely.
All right. Kalpana, thank you so much for being here. Tell everybody where they can find you, what socials you want them to check out. I've got your Instagram pinned at the chat. Tell everybody where your socials are and where you want everybody to go check out your stuff at.
So I am on Instagram. I operate with the name of Whiskey Reveries by Kalpana. It's whiskey_reveries by Kalpana. It's on Instagram. And that's the same name that I go with on Facebook as well on TikTok. So you guys can find me and send me DM whatever you like about whiskey, whatever you would want to know, some recipes, maybe some Indian recipes with whiskey. I mean, there's so much to do and explore. I'm always here to answer.
I love that. I'm sure you're going to be getting a DM from Dave about how to enhance his ice whiskey. And we just found out ice wine is a thing. I didn't even know that was a thing. So
Ice
I'm
wine
sure
is in Canada.
I didn't know that. Okay.
It's a very common thing. It's Vidal. Actually, it's Vidal. So there's ice wine, which is very sweet and very subtle.
Oh no, C.A. Scotty said something else I don't understand. Bourbon infused vindaloo? What
Vindaloo.
is
Vindaloo is a famous dish from India.
Yes, we've
Goa.
had it before. Yes,
How
I know.
does okay, C.A. Scotty is definitely a secret agent. He's either in a plane, on a boat, he speaks other languages. I don't know what is going on. All right, well, here, let me cheers you out with some Blanton's Gold. And I hope if you want, you can stick around and watch the rest of the show. We do some trivia and a lot of fun stuff. And
Lovely. I'm still here.
And if not, then we really appreciate you being on here.
Yes,
And you've got my
thank you.
number and email, and I'd love to stay in touch and
Yes.
keep up with what you're doing.
I told you, Matt, my Valentine date is with you guys, so I'm not going anywhere.
Aw.
All right,
you.
well, happy Valentine's Day.
Happy Valentine's.
Cheers to you. Here's some
You
Blanton's
too.
Gold.
You too,
And
Nicole. So wonderful meeting you guys.
Oh, you too. Oh my word, this has like inspired me to like learn more, and I've learned more. So
We love meeting you virtually, and hopefully one day we can do this in person. So cheers. Thank you so much for being on the show. Appreciate it.
Absolutely.
All right,
We're just a
bye-bye.
flight away.
yeah,
Say what?
Thank you so much for having me. I said we are just a flight away.
Oh, a
Yeah.
flight away.
Yes, we are.
Yeah, well, I'll just contact C.A. Scotty. I'm sure he knows like
He
the
can hook
cheapest
us
route to Canada. I'll
planes,
just get in touch
trains, and
with him.
automobiles.
yeah, exactly. All right, thank you so much. Have a good night.
Thank you
Have a
so
good
much, Matt. Thank you so much, Nicole.
night. See
All right,
you.
bye-bye.
Bye bye.
Oh, she's so awesome. I love that. That was a lot of fun.
I learned a lot. There's
Yeah,
stuff
yeah.
I had no clue.
Dude, the amount of degrees, she has degrees that
Okay.
I didn't even know existed
Yeah.
in whiskey. It's absolutely crazy.
I'll be
all
right back.
My wife is going to go punish our children, I think. So Anyways, that was great. Yeah, I agree, Carl. That was really fun.
Am I
Killed my bottle,
mute?
Penelope toasted. Gotta find another.
Am
Yeah.
I on mute?
I don't know. Talk.
Hello?
Talking to the mic.
Hello?
Yes, you are on mute. Let's see. Anybody else? Anybody else? I've been to Bangalore more than I want to admit. I don't. God, this is horrible. I don't know where that is. I don't know where that is, bro. I assume that's in India. I don't know. Very fun, guys. Thank you for making that happen. Absolutely. Yeah, she was awesome. Great guys. Cool. Thank you, guys. Yeah, I agree. She's a lot of fun. If you're on our Patreon, I posted about like an hour video that her and I were talking on the technical test, and she was really nice. She was really fun. All right, babe. Hit the
I'm
button.
back.
Did you unmute it?
I don't know. Am I
Press the button once. You're not unmuted.
Hello?
You're unmuted now.
Okay.
All right. Yeah, I know. Look.
Sorry.
It's close to Tuck's son. I know.